Storm Surge is a large topic of discussion with the progression of Chapter 2 Season 6. Many teams are attempting to figure out exactly how to manage it and how it works. In today's video, I'm going to be recapping exactly what Storm Surge is, how you want to manage it during this no sniper season, and how not to die to Storm Surge. Be sure to use code SonatoYT if you guys do want to support me, and let's hop into this video. So quickly, I would just like to give a quick shout out to my Twitter. If you guys don't already follow me there, I highly suggest you do to stay up to date with my channel. So basically, in terms of the timings for Storm Surge, the way it works is for Storm Phase 1, there's going to be 100 players allowed for Storm Surge. During Storm Phase 2, there's going to be 70 players allowed. Storm Phase 3, 70 players allowed once again. Storm Phase 4, 50 players allowed. Storm Phase 5, 50 players allowed. Storm Phase 6, 30 players allowed. Storm Phase 7, 30 players allowed, and then for 8 and 9, it's also 30 players allowed. So basically, anytime after Storm Phase 6, there's going to be 30 players allowed, and that's going to be the minimum surge threshold. So the way that Storm Surge works is that it will deal 25 damage to each player under the damage threshold, and it occurs every 5 seconds if you guys are below the damage threshold. What you guys will have to do is do enough damage to the other players in the server so that you guys are above the minimum damage threshold that is displayed on screen. Now I'm going to go over what is the difference between Storm Surge warnings and Storm Surge actives. So a Storm Surge warning is when there's going to be a warning that pops up on your screen saying that Storm Surge is going to be starting in the next zone. What you guys will have to do is you guys are going to have to try to see how much damage you have during this warning and try to get your damage then. Ideally, you should attempt to get your damage beforehand, but if you guys need damage and you want to know how much you need, this is the time to tell that. Then, when Storm Surge is active, that's going to be when the damage is going to be dealt to the players with the lowest amount of damage in the game. So warnings for Storm Surge are one zone before the active Storm Surge. So quickly, I'm going to be explaining when you guys should be looking for Storm Surge. In a perfect world, you guys should try to look for Storm Surge in between first and second zone. You guys should have your rotations and loot path down to the point where you guys can complete them in about 1 minute. However, it does depend on the size and the amount of loot in your POIs, so that can be flexible. Most times, what you guys should probably do is try to rotate out into an area that is more populated, and then obviously you guys should try to hit the rotate off of there. If you guys need to get Surge a bit later in the game, obviously I would highly recommend you guys try to base up on a hill. However, you can try and take a fight in the mid game. However, I wouldn't recommend that because you can very easily die to that. If you guys are going to be taking a fight in the mid game though, I would highly recommend you guys try to play angles and try to play around the team that you're fighting, especially in trios. One of the best techniques is to sandwich the trio that you're playing against and then attempt to fight them using peanut butter type edits. However, all in all, this is the time that I would recommend you guys try to look for Storm Surge. So now I'm going to be going over exactly how to get a Surge route. You guys may have heard pro players talking about what their Surge routes are and exactly how they set them up. However, I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to set up your own Surge route. So I would highly recommend you guys try to plan your Surge routes in highlighted areas between large central POIs such as the Spire and Bony Burbs. Depending on where you guys land on the map, you guys are going to want to find some main POIs near you, and you're going to want to try to find Storm Surge in between these POIs where a majority of players will be. Ideally, you guys should try to base up and look for Storm Surge. However, if you guys need to find Storm Surge while you're rotating, that is applicable at some times. You guys should also try to draw out your Surge routes because that'll help you as a team and you as an individual trio or duo player. It's important that you guys know exactly where you're going to go every game and how you plan your Surge route based on different circles, so this is how I would recommend you guys try to set it up. I would also recommend that you guys try to follow them every single game and practice them in scrims in various different circles. If you guys practice them on different zones, you guys will eventually get really good at getting Surge. And this is how we eventually develop what is called a Surge route. So now I'm going to be going over the best weapons to get Storm Surge in this new season. So obviously, the first weapon that is a no-brainer is going to be an assault rifle. So right here, I am not talking about the primal or the makeshift rifle, I'm talking more about the normal base assault rifle. The reason this is so good is because it has first shot accuracy and you guys can easily land large beams on enemies. That'll help you get above that damage threshold in the lobby and you guys will easily be able to get Storm Surge for you or your team. The next weapon is going to be a bit of a secret, but I haven't really told any about this. I would highly recommend one person on your team decides to carry a revolver. Whether this is a normal revolver or a makeshift, I would highly recommend you guys try to carry this because it does have first shot accuracy. It also does a minimum of 50 damage, and I would highly recommend you guys try to get 2 tags on each player that you see with this weapon. This is one thing that can get you a lot of Surge very quickly if you guys have some relatively decent aim. And then obviously the final item is going to be the Stink and Explosive Bow. These are two weapons that do splash damage, so you guys can easily find a grouping of enemies to shoot this on and get some surge with. It's important that you guys do know how to aim with this properly, so I would highly recommend you guys hop into some arena and practice with it. So now that we're done talking about the weapons, let's hop into exactly what each role of a trio should be looking for surge. So in terms of Storm Surge for the IGL, they should attempt to look for surge tags ahead of the team. They should always be looking forward and focusing on the zone and terrain. This will not only help them ensure that the rotation path is safe, but it'll also help them get surge for the team. Ideally, as an IGL, you guys have already made a surge route like I said before, but if you haven't, it's important that you guys recognize that you have to go to the more populated areas of the map to get Storm Surge. So the next role is going to be the Fragger, and the Fragger should constantly be looking for tags no matter what. The role of a Fragger is to kill people and do damage in the game. One thing that's really important is that you guys listen and follow your IGL no matter where they go, because you guys need to ensure that you're staying with them at all times. If you guys get separated from your IGL, it's not going to be good for your team, and it's also not going to be good for your Storm Surge. So the last role of a trio, the support or tarper, covers the back of the team and they focus on communicating the defense. They should be looking for surge tags on people behind the team and potential teams trying to W key. It's important that the support / tarper decides when they're going to be defensive and assist the IGL whenever you need. So the next tip is going to be a bonus controller tip, and I've seen a lot of controller professional players do this before, such as Lechi and Hoofishy. So what they will do is when you are looking for surge and you are based up, you should try to get onto your keyboard and mouse and then look for tags with that. It is very easy to aim on keyboard and mouse compared to controller, so I would highly recommend you guys try to practice a little bit of your aim on keyboard and then look for surge tags in those types of situations. It's important that you guys know what you're doing though, because you guys kind of need to be able to at least build if you do get rushed. That's why I would highly recommend everybody becomes a hybrid sort of player where they can play both keyboard and controller. Alright everyone, that is the video on Storm Surge management during Chapter 2 Season 6. If you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more. Check out all my socials in the description below. But that's about it for this video guys. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys.